Coffee, check. Topic to ramble about, check. Today's video is going to be a very rambly one. I'm just gonna warn you before I even get started. This is a topic that I've been thinking about a lot recently, and I used to do this style of video all the time, actually. I would just have a topic that I've been thinking about a lot or that meant something to me and just chatted about it. And I didn't plan anything in advance. Made my cup of coffee. It's really like a coffee talk or whatever the cool thing to call these on YouTube is. I've been watching a ton of these recently and just sort of binge watching these on YouTube, and I realized it's been months probably since I've done a video like this. You already know because you've read the title, so no suspense, but I want to talk about taking risks and getting out of your comfort zone, doing things that scare you. It's a subject I have actually sort of touched on and alluded to in a ton of my videos because so much of what I talk about on my channel is, you know, living abroad, learning languages. I'm losing my voice. I think I need this coffee. Anyway, so much of what I talk about is getting out of your comfort zone, writing, trying to get published, which is something I will probably be doing very soon and I will be talking more about in the future. But all of this stuff is kind of risky in a lot of ways. I'm certainly not a daredevil in any way. There's plenty of times that I've been, you know, backed down from a challenge and not been brave enough to do what I really want to do. I've done that plenty of times, but I think knowing that I've done that before and making those mistakes before have encouraged me to take the risks that I have taken in the past few years and to do the things that I really want to do, even if it's scary and out of my comfort zone. And I think that's just something that makes a really interesting discussion. And I have a lot of feelings and thoughts about it because it has been such a big part of my life. So I wanted to do a chatty video about it today. No preparation, so yeah, you've been warned. And of course, as I'm going off on these tangents that will inevitably happen during this video, please do leave your thoughts and your opinions and your feelings on all of these topics in the comments below. I've said that I've not prepared at all for this video, but I do think that my brain naturally likes to organize things. So I kind of have these two different sides of the topic that I kind of would like to cover. One of them being the actual risk-taking part and sort of how I feel about that. And then the other side of the coin, I think, sort of being the planning part, the organization part, the part that, to be honest, probably a lot of people think holds you back from the first part of actually taking the risk, but that I think is also really important. So I'm gonna start with the fun part, of course. I've shared a lot in the past 5.5, almost 6 years of doing YouTube. Wow, almost 6 years, guys. So you know a lot of the risks that I've taken recently in the past 2 years being moving to France, being the huge one. Learning French. You know, I didn't know French 5 years ago and now I'm living in France and I'm fluent in French. Maybe my first really big risk that I took was moving to the UK. 5 years ago. I got into a program and I moved to a country I'd never even visited. I took the risk because it was something I really wanted to do and something I really believed in. And I think that is the core of this topic and the core of this issue. When we play it safe and when we never stretch outside of our comfort zone, we don't fail typically. Lot less failure, lot less rejection, a lot less of that horrible feeling. But we also don't get what we want. Everybody, some of us more so than others, but everybody's got at least that one thing that they really want, but that the only way to actually get that thing or to have a chance to get that thing is to stretch outside your comfort zone and to do something that really could end up in failure. And that often does end up in failure, maybe the first couple of times or the first several times before you ever can get to the success. But you have zero chance of getting the success if you don't stretch outside the comfort zone. And you also will never know if success is possible. Maybe it's just me because I'm a very curious person. That question, what if, is about the most annoying, frustrating thing to be lingering over your head for years to come. I would much rather have a rejection. Let's be honest, being told no, you can't have what you want is so much better than wondering if you would have been told no or if you would have been told yes. We tend to think of rejection and not succeeding in something as being the ultimate failure, and that's the thing we should avoid more than anything, and it's so terrible. But I personally think that not knowing is far worse than being told no and not succeeding in something. Follow your heart and follow your dreams sounds so cliche, but there really is a reason that we say this, that this means so much to us, that it's so applicable to every single one of us, whatever those dreams or ambitions might be. It is really important and it is kind of at the core of what will make us happy. That's not to say that ambition alone will make you happy, etc., etc. That's sort of something I can struggle with a little bit myself, always having those goals and never being satisfied necessarily. But at the same time, having those ambitions, having those dreams, that's what makes us human. All of us have them. Some of them we have more than others and have bigger ones than others, but we all have them. And that's what gives us a reason to move forward, a reason to try and to live our lives to the fullest. If you have one of these dreams or two of these dreams or five of these dreams, you should treasure those and listen to them and prioritize them. It doesn't mean that you throw everything to the side of the road in pursuit of those dreams, but it is something that I think we should value. Now for the flip side of this discussion, which I don't feel like is often discussed in tangent with the first one. I feel like people either dwell on the first or they dwell on the second, but it's so important to me, at least. I feel like they should be talked about together a lot more. You can't have one without the other. You need both of them. So the second side is the more logical aspect of it, the organization, the planning. I read a quote one time from a really successful, I believe, singer. It was a celebrity of some sort. And the advice that this person gave was to not have a plan B. Because if you have a plan B, you will inevitably fall back on that plan B and you'll never achieve plan A. So just go in with it with just one plan, plan A, and that's all you should have. Never ever plan for anything else. I just cringe so hard. Like, this is the worst advice you could possibly give somebody. My personal take on this, and please do leave comments below if you agree or disagree, but my personal opinion is that you need a plan B. Maybe even a plan C, maybe even a plan D. And if those secondary plans somehow stop you from doing plan A, and if you fall back to plan B and give up on plan A simply because plan B exists, that's on you. Sorry for the tough love there, but that is completely on you. You can't blame it on the existence of plan B if you give up on plan A. That is ultimately your decision. And for me personally, the existence of plan B makes me even stronger and more confident in my plan A, because I know that even if I do fail, which is not a bad thing, it's not a bad word, I have something to fall back on. I won't lose everything. Maybe I'll lose some stuff. Maybe I'll lose a lot of hours of work and etc., all those things. But I have a plan B, things will be okay, and it just makes me more confident in my plan A. It's also really important to realize that in our lifetime, if we really push hard and live our life to the fullest, we're gonna take tons of risks. There's gonna be plenty of times that those risks work and that we succeed and that everything's great. My life here in France, moving to France, everything has gone great in a general big picture sense. But there have been plenty of failures all along the way, and there are gonna be plenty more. For all those successes, you're gonna have those other times when you fall on your face, when things fall apart, when they don't work, when you fail. I'm gonna keep using this word because I hate that there's such a stigma against it, but when you fail, what do? You go to plan B. It's so important to have these backup plans ready and in place so that you have stability. It's also super important to think about all of the other surrounding issues and all of the different features of the risk that you're taking. For example, I'm going to use moving to France again because it's one I talk about a lot. There's a lot that comes along with moving to France. There's a lot of little tiny issues and situations and circumstances to prepare for, to think about. When I moved to France, I didn't just book a flight and land in the country and go, I hope things work. I prepared from the visa work, which inevitably had to happen. If you are going to move to a different country, you're probably gonna need a visa. You can't just come there and arrive in the country and expect them to let you stay. Immigration's gonna kick you out if you don't do your research and your paperwork. So there's all that, of course, the practical element. There's also things like getting the apartment, learning the language, getting a job. All of these things you can't just jump into and hope they work out. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of organization, so many plans, A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs, that go along with that. And I did my research. God knows, I did so many hours of research. Nothing is straightforward with these types of big risks and big decisions. And every risk that you take, every big decision that you make is going to have this underlying stuff. And if you don't plan for it and if you don't think about it, and you're not prepared, it just increases your chance of not being able to take that risk or of failing when you take that risk. So I think it's really important to talk about them together. You can't be head in the clouds, but you also shouldn't be scared to take risks and get out of your comfort zone, because everything that I have that means the most to me, I have gained from getting outside of my comfort zone and taking risks. I think I've pretty much said everything that I want to say on this topic. It's the only problem with not scripting the video, or one of the only problems of not scripting a video, is that I might have more to say and I've just forgotten to say it in this video, and I'll remember it probably when I'm editing. If you have any more to add, I shouldn't even say if you do, because you probably do. If you've watched this far into the video, I'm sure you have some thoughts to add. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and I would just love to keep this discussion going. It's such a fascinating topic, and especially as, like I said, I'm taking some risks and making some changes in the next month or so. Again, we'll be talking about this very soon. It's something that's been on my mind even more so. I hope this video has not been too terribly tangenty, or at least that I've been able to just sort of wrap up all the tangents into something cohesive. Please let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. It's been a lot of fun to film. Probably not so much to edit when I get to editing this, but it's been really fun to just ramble and film this. I miss doing these on my channel, so yeah, please do let me know if you want to see more, because I will be very happy to oblige. And if you do want to see more, if there are any topics in particular that you would love me to ramble about and to sort of start a discussion on, please let me know what those are in the comment section, or tweet me or Instagram me or whatever you want to do. I've also realized another benefit of doing these types of videos, and that is that I actually drink more of my coffee. You can see I've drunk almost all of my coffee because I've actually had time to mull things over, so I'm liking this. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.